72% of the questions on a student's test were correct. There were 50 questions. How many of the questions were correct? To determine the number of correct questions, we need to answer the basic question, what is 72% of 50, since there are 50 questions? There are several ways to answer this question, but the quickest way to determine the percent of a number is to convert the percent to a decimal and multiply. And since 72% is equal to 0.72, we would multiply 0.72 and 50 to determine 72% of 50. Let's go ahead and do this on the calculator, and then we'll come back and set this up more formally using the percent equation and the percent proportion. Notice 0.72 times 50 is equal to 36. And therefore, if a student scored 72% on a test with 50 questions, the student answered 36 questions correctly. Now let's also answer this question using the percent equation and the percent proportion. To help us set up the equation, we use these key words where is means equals, of means multiplication, and what number or what percent represents the unknown, so we write down a variable. So looking at our question, notice how we have what, then is, then we have the percent, and then we have the word of. So to write the equation, for the word what, we write down our variable. Let's use Q for questions. Then we have is, which means equals. And then we have 72%, which must be expressed as a decimal, which is 0.72. And then we have of 50, and of means multiplication, so we have times 50. Notice how to solve for Q, we have the same product we had above, which we know is 36. Let's also set up the percent proportion. The percent proportion is always in this form here, where we have two ratios, where this ratio has 100 on the bottom. And now to answer the question, because we're given the percent, and the percent is a number compared to 100, the 72 goes over 100, and the second ratio compares the part to the whole. So in this case, we would be comparing the number of correct questions to the total questions, and we're trying to figure out how many are correct, so we'd have Q to the total of 50. We can also use keywords to set up this ratio here. We can think of the ratio as is over of. So looking at our question, because we have what is, the numerator is the unknown, and because we have of 50, 50 is on the bottom. Now that we have a proportion, we cross multiply and solve for the variable. So here we have Q times 100 equals 50 times 72. Q times 100 is equal to 100Q. 50 times 72 is equal to 3,600. Dividing both sides by 100, notice how we get the same result. Q equals 36. So there are several ways to answer this question. I hope you found this helpful.